Okay guys, what's up? It's Wednesday and I thought I could do like a little bit of an educational video today because yesterday we had some very good trades. Like I was pretty happy with the results we got, like a lot of clean 2R setups, and all had like the same concept with the Monday range that I talk about quite often. So I thought, why not make an explanational video like about the trades yesterday, so hopefully you can understand the strategy better, like learn from it or like get any sort of value. So basically yesterday, right, we got a pump on shitcoins and Bitcoin as well, and I took 3 longs on Pengu, Solana and Near, and two of those were posted in the Discord, Solana and Pengu. So yeah, and we closed Pengu on Monday highs for 2R, and it was same with Solana. So now let's break down the trades, why they worked and what was the mindset behind it. So on Monday, late Monday night, I posted a few charts of altcoins that I'm considering to long on Tuesday, and I gave like rough setups already, and I think most of them would play out if you just blindly copied them, but I decided to not place limits overnight and take the trades while I'm awake so I can monitor the price action. So if we check out Solana from early Tuesday, right? So here Monday opened, right, and we got a very fast nuke. Bro. Fucking YouTube commercials. Okay, anyways, well, we got the nuke that created Monday low, right? So that was here, and throughout the whole Monday, like it was up only, and we got the Monday high, and that was like, it's actually that was AM. So that was basically like quite early in the day, right? And like throughout the Monday, price was bleeding down, and like Monday closed, so like basically around here, you know, in the middle of the range. So you could predict or like look for longs, because if Solana would like be here, right, and Monday would close here, I would be more confident than on Tuesday we will get a push up, sweep of highs and reject. But like Near is a better example of that, right? Because Monday closed basically here, right, very close to the lows, and like a lot of altcoins look the same. So yeah, basically like once you see this chart, right, you have your low, your high, and then you can also mark out like external liquidity, because when you have a Monday range, right, this is your liquidity zone and this is your liquidity zone inside the Monday range, and this low and this low, that is your external liquidity outside of the range that you want to trade. So for example on Solana, right, let's say we pull the golden pocket, right, you could say, okay, I can place a limit order, something like this, stop loss at these lows roughly, and like TP on Monday highs, and that's still like 2.2R. You know, you could do that, make a plan and like go to bed. And then like so basically, all right, I was looking for a sweep of lows, and you also have like lows just up below Monday low, so like you can estimate that price is likely to sweep both and then look for upside. So if we play the chart forward, that's basically exactly what happened, right? Price took these lows as well, and it was pretty shallow sweep, right? Because you never know how deep of a sweep you will get with Monday range. That's the tricky part. But here we can see like Solana had a pretty small sweep and candles started to close like above the low, because the key part is that you want to see a close of a few candles inside back the range, you know, so that is your signal to go long and target the highs. And like one thing as well, that was probably more of a gut feeling. When I woke up and checked the charts, right, a lot of altcoins were like down 5%, and my estimation was that the daily low should be in around here, you know, that we are probably not seeing much lower. So let's replay the chart forward. And like then I just posted a market entry right here, because we got like a nice H1 reclaim, and because this sweep was so shallow, right, I decided to have my stop loss a little bit lower, just in case we get like another sweep and then we push up. And I was also cautious of the local golden pocket right around here, because easily price could pump and like make a lower high here and go for my stop loss and take out all the liquidity up here, down here. But yeah, that was pretty simple, right? You just look for a sweep, reclaim, and then you enter. And pretty much like the chart played out to the Monday high, right? From one liquidity to another. And like the same would go for shorts. So let's go on near now, because like it's a very similar setup. I mean, exact identical setup, but this one was a little bit cleaner, right? Because if you go on H4, right, just before the Monday close, you can spot the OB here, right, and you just map out the box. And usually I like to place my limits just in the middle point of OB. So like I also posted the setup, right? I posted the setup before Tuesday, something like this, I think. No stop loss down here. But as well, right, once you have this OB marked out, you know where to expect a reaction when you get a sweep, right? You should probably see a reaction from OB upwards, otherwise price is likely to trade down to the lows. Okay, and if we play the chart, right, price sweeps the Monday low right into the midpoint of OB, where I would usually place my limits. And here I took a little bit of a risk, because like I took again a market long while we didn't get a reclaim, just because I was biased that the daily low is probably in and we should see upside at least like somewhere in the mid range, right? So like I was expecting at least to make a little bit of profits, but it would be more by the book that you would wait for a reclaim at least on 30 minutes chart, and then you go long, right? So this was a little bit of a risky play. That is also why I didn't post it, because I felt like I'm forcing a little bit, but like still the trade played out. And same as on Solana, right, I was cautious of the local golden pocket, and basically pretty simple. You have your point of control for upside, liquidity sweep, this is your target, like the opposite side of the range, and you could also target right external liquidity to the Monday range here, so these highs. But I decided to be like conservative, not to push my luck, and just take the 2R on Monday highs, and that pretty much played out, and after that the whole trade would be round tripped to about like break even. So in hindsight, it was better to be conservative than aim for the highs. So yeah, like that was a pretty quick setup for 2R in about like what, 5 hours. And let's go to the Pengu chart, which is like pretty much the exact same copy of near. You know, you have your H4 OB, so this is the red, in my case black candle here. That is your box for support, your point of control, and it is just below the Monday low, right? So my anticipation was that when Pengu sweeps the low, this box should be the area of a bounce, either way to range mid and local golden pocket, or same as on Near and Solana, target the opposite side of the range and external liquidity. Okay, let's clean the chart a little bit. So if we play chart forward, right, same thing as on Near. Price came to the midpoint of OB. I like to place limits here, and it was a little bit like weak, choppy around the Monday low, right? But again, I was biased with the daily low being in, so that's why I had 3 longs. And like then we just full TP it basically in a single candle or like 2, right? And again, I decided to be conservative and just take the proper Monday range setup, TP on the highs, because like same thing here, you know, Pengu would basically go for stop loss, and that was like a pretty clean 2.2R trade. So yeah, that was basically like making a pretty good prediction and setup on yesterday's pump, like booking 2.2R setups. And Solana was like pretty much the same thing, right? It was what? Yeah, 2.2R, 2.2-ish, and again, same. So that's basically what 6.6R. And so now, you know, sometimes you get the Monday range like this when you can just long and you get like a good RR setup. Of course, sometimes this can fail, right? Easily, I was in all 3 longs. Maybe something could happen, and like market just turns down, you know, and you pay like 3 stops, and that's like -3R, or like whatever is your risk. So like I positioned myself, right? But like something was also luck that everything played out, because easily I could pay like a lot of stops. Now let's check out Aave. That was like basically the next trade with the same concept, right? Just after we TP'd the shorts. Okay. So let's set up the indicator. Okay, like this. So basically, yeah. One thing you wanna look like late Monday, right? You just look at the Monday range and you see here, for example, you know, Aave front ran the low, right? And while I took longs on the coins that got a sweep here, right, Aave didn't. So we also had like an OB on higher time frame. This is H12 OB. Again, Jesus Christ, this YouTube commercials, that's insane. Okay, so yeah, this is the green candle here, in my case white candle, so that's your order block. And like you can also see, it's like demandish on H4 and H1, and you also see price rejecting from this zone. So once we got that pump, I was biased that this is a short setup, but you know, I was not sure how far Bitcoin will go. Aave could easily do this and then come down, you know. So again, you take a little bit of a risk playing these setups. But once I saw like a sweep of highs, basically you do the same exact thing as on longs. You target the opposite liquidity, and you have even better confluence with equal lows, and then your external liquidity to the range, right? So here in this case also I took a market short, like no limits, you know. You could definitely like place a limit, but like you have your stop loss here, you know, so that's not as great RR. So yeah, once you get a sweep, and like one important thing, for example, you know, you see that H4 didn't actually close above range highs, you know, so that's even better confirmation. You just place stop loss above the highs of the sweep, and you put your TP either to weekend lows, your external, or like just Monday lows liquidity, you know, and that's still like 2.5 R. And that pretty much like instantly played out, you know, and I exited around here. So that's how I used the Monday range concept to like took 4 successful trades pretty much. And I took like where is it, the short on Solana as well. That was a little bit of a gamble, but like I made profits, so I was willing to risk it more, you know. And this was also a pretty good one, about 2R. But this one was not really a Monday range short, like it was just a bit of a gamble because I was biased to the downside. So yeah, this is the Aave trade explained, and all the 3 longs. And also I was short on Bitcoin, you know, pretty much same thing happened. Similar to Aave, Bitcoin created equal lows here and didn't sweep the Monday lows, right? And we got that insane pump on New York, and Bitcoin swept like Monday lows, external liquidity, and more external liquidity, and came right to the monthly open or like quarterly open, and we got an insane rejection, like basically insta dump, like 5%, right? Of course, I was not expecting such a move down, but like the fact is that from price action perspective, right, price is taking up the liquidity above and leaving all the liquidity below untapped, right? So once you see such a move, right, you cannot be just like, okay, I'm gonna long like fucking this, you know, what, for 1 hour. That's stupid, you know, because all the levels higher are basically taken out. So this is ideal setup, you know, for a short. It was also confluent with the 0.786 Fibonacci level, and like you get that monthly open retest, you know. So I took like same market short entry again, like took a short, but like what if market just continue pumping, you know, I would pay a stop loss, and I couldn't take this as a good example, you know. So but yeah, pretty much, you know, I TP'd the short around here, but still it's valid because no liquidity to the downside has been swept yet, and I am anticipating like a move down into around here, and if there is any upside we should see it from here, right, on Bitcoin. And okay, let's clean the chart a little bit. Basically that's pretty much the same, you know, like the Monday range concept. Once you see a sweep of highs, but like this is a pretty insane sweep, the idea is you must look for the next logical point where the price should come, you know, and that's basically the lows. Because like the whole idea, right, of the Monday range concept, that is pretty simple, right? You get your price action on a weekend, that is usually tricky, and you get a low on Monday, high on Monday, and then if the highs are taken out, you just want to trade. YouTube ads again, Jesus Christ, that's insane. You basically just want to trade from one extreme point, you know, to another. Like, it's very simple. You really don't need to be a genius to get this, you know. You don't have to understand some insane ICT concepts, be like super smart about things, just from one point to another. But of course, you know, like sometimes you get lucky, or like your timing is super good, you know. You take like 3 good winners and then you just short, and like market turns into your direction, you know. And like you don't have control over that, you know. That was pure coincidence, and like being at the right place at the right time could easily like get completely wrecked. But with some risk management and like over time, this strategy, you know, should like be profitable, or like you should make good trades, you know. Maybe like 2 weeks you are paying stop losses, but like the next week you should like find one good setup, and like probably like the next 2 weeks as well, you know. And let's check out some other coins, because like you had a lot of setups here, right? We did a Monday range, so, but it's like a little bit tricky, you know, because some weeks you get a really good setups, and some weeks setups are completely shit. So like it's not 100% reliable, but like still a pretty simple strategy to understand and use. Like it's not complicated, you know. So basically on H bar, you know, here is your support, demand, OB, right? This is your Monday low, Monday high, and we see exact same pattern as on Aave, you know. Price pumped up, you have a sweep of highs, and once you get a sweep, immediately your focus is on the lows. And another thing, you know, you see H4 candle just swept the highs and closed below. That is your confirmation, or like if you try to short, you know, probabilities are higher on such setup as if H bar would like close above the high and then go down and you would short. And like, let's check Jupiter as well, because I also had that mapped out. And let's go on lower time frames, you know. Exact same setup on shorts for Monday range. Okay, like this. You know, you have some lows here, price is moving up, sweeping the highs, and like what do? You target the lows because they didn't get swept yet, and potentially these lows, and then these lows, and these lows if we are super bearish. But like this week, you know, you could short you find your setup like this, and it's totally up to you, you know. Do you place a limit here and maybe have a stop loss on these highs and then you target somewhere down here, or you can just wait for a sweep, you know, H1 closing inside the range, and like you could enter here, let's say stop loss here, take profit here, and that's like still 2R, you know. And every week, like Monday range offers some sort of setups, like because I have a lot of altcoins here, you know, and a few of these offer the setup each week, you know. And you just basically look at 2 lines, you know. You have 2 lines on the chart. Once one gets stacked, you focus your setup from there to the lower line, or like from the lower to the higher line. So yeah, that's pretty much the trades from this week. Like, I mean, probably we'll trade more, but like I think that this week this was like the grand finale of all the trades I will get, like probably the best trades, because like this was probably the main move of the week. And yeah, this is basically one simple concept that I used to find what 1, 2, 3. Okay. Probably will have to get YouTube Premium more stuff. Sorry guys for these ads, like just muted the background music because of this. So yeah, basically what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 great setups, you know, and I was also looking at H-bar on live stream yesterday in the Discord, you know, but like my plan was to short a little bit higher. And next week it's going to be the same, you know, we will have some ranging, low and high, and maybe we get a sweep, and you can use some higher time frame or whatever bias to be bullish, you know, and you will long. But given that the next week I think is the last week of October, I would be more maybe biased like that we will be shorting like this. Once you get a sweep close below, you just short down, you know. So that's pretty much it. Like, made a short video. Hope it was helpful, like to understand the Monday range a little bit better. And like, if you want to use this concept, it's fairly simple. Of course you will get stop loss hits, you will get the trades wrong, but like over time, you know, if you use this range like 100 times, then you should like get a bit of a gut feeling, you know, when it will work, when it won't. I still don't have like a perfect feeling or like bias, and still like make mistakes using this strategy, but like it's pretty good because it's very simple, you know. You don't have to be a genius to understand it, and every week, you know, you get a setup. So yeah, that's it guys for today, like a little short video. Hope it helps, hope you liked it, and yeah, that's it.